Yes, welcome to another video. I'm Lewis. Above me is John. I've got a transfer roundup coming for you today. It's probably the biggest one we've ever done, so strap yourselves in. We're for a bumpy ride, man. Before we get into it, guys, let's set another like target. We'll go for 1,000 again. We actually hit the like target on the last video. I think we ended up with like 1,100, so big up yourselves for getting to 1,000. We'll go for 1,000 again. Subscribe as well if you're new. Hit the notification bell. We're aiming for 35k before the start of the new season. Any help towards that, massively appreciated. I want to tell you as well, guys, about our sponsor. It is the guys at OneFootball. If you've not heard of OneFootball before, OneFootball got an app that you can download. It's completely free. When you download it, select City as your favourite team, or whoever you support as your favourite team, and you'll get all the news straight to your phone, including like transfer news, transfer rumours, which is obviously going to be popping off. And to be honest, the amount of transfer rumours that are going around at the moment about City, it's mad. Like, you obviously, there's so much, man. We've got so much to talk about, and OneFootball is a great app to get all the latest updates on. So go check it out. Don't cost you a penny. The link's in the description. It's also the pinned comment. Don't cost you anything, and if you download it, you help support the channel. Right, okay, let's kick off first of all with Raheem Sterling. So Sterling's obviously been in this situation now where he's been under a lot of pressure over probably the last, I'd say, year, maybe even a bit longer, due to his form, and obviously some fans are saying, you know, it's time for him to go, or whatever. But Raheem Sterling has no interest in going to Tottenham as part of any sort of make-weight deal for Harry Kane or anything like that. He don't want to go there, which I kind of understand. If he is going to leave, which, you know, there's no concrete rumours that, I mean, this is coming from Footy Insider 247. There's no concrete rumour that he's going to leave. But if he does, you'd expect that he's going to go somewhere a little bit, you know, better than Tottenham. No disrespect. I mean, that is disrespectful to Tottenham.
That is disrespectful.
It is what it is, isn't it? He wants to play Champions League football. He wants to win trophies. He's not going to do that at Tottenham.
The roast is real.
Yeah, it's roast.
Don't hold back, innit? Yeah, it's weird one, Raheem. I don't actually see him going anywhere this summer. I think we'll offer him a new deal. However, there is rumours that he is on the transfer list, but yeah, I mean, City will value him heavy. He'll have a big valuation. City will want it. Yeah, 80 million is apparently. If we do let him go, 80 million is the rumoured fee. That's what they can get him for. But yeah, difficult times, isn't it? Next up is a transfer that would always be difficult. Is Riyad Mahrez, isn't it? Apparently Barcelona. This is where the Barcelona stuff starts, right? Just to strap yourselves in, because a lot of these things just involve Barcelona. Apparently Barcelona just want Manchester City, and that is it now. And starting with Riyad Mahrez, apparently he's very expensive, and City don't want to sell him. And there's no chance that he will actually join Barca this summer, despite all the rumours circulating about all this Barca stuff. And that's from Shea Lugassi. And this is just one that I just like. I don't want him to leave because I think he's had a good season. I think he's had a really good year. He deserves another year because just based off this season. Is he one that I could see leaving? Potentially, if we're being ruthless. That's just my stamp on it. Like.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because I was looking at the details. He's 30 years old now and he's got 2 years left on his contract. So Riyad Mahrez really needs a new deal now, whether it's a transfer away from the football club or a new contract. Because by the time this contract ends, he's going to be 32. So, you know, he's probably past his peak at that point.
He wants to get that last big deal.
Yeah, he's going to want to get that last big contract. So this is probably the year to get it. I think he'll stay, and I think City will offer him maybe a year or two extension. We'll have to see. But Barcelona is the rumoured destination if he does leave. Moving on then, this is from Jack Gorn. First team stars who might want to get game time away include Raheem Sterling, it's popping up again, Gabby Jesus, Ilkay Gundogan, Riyad Mahrez, as we've just mentioned. They obviously all are running low on the contracts. I think they've all got about 2 years left. Bernardo Silva, obviously, we did that video yesterday. Go check that out if you've not already done so. And Laporte also, you know, I mean, the thing is, right, these players are obviously wanted by other clubs because they're always wanted. It depends on two things. One, whether the player wants to go, or maybe three things. One, whether the player wants to go, whether the buying club is willing to spend money and get them in, and whether City are actually willing to let them leave the football club. So, you know, players like Sterling, does he want to leave? Well, I don't know. He's never said anything about wanting to leave. So I don't know. Gabby Jesus, the thing is with Gabby, it's frustrating for me because he's had a fair crack at it, and you know what I mean? He's played as a striker in some parts of the season for 9 games in a row, and hasn't found the back of the net. So he can't exactly say that, you know, he's not been given the chance. Who's going to buy in? That's the question. Gundogan, he's played a lot of football this year. However, with the rumours about Grealish coming in, will he still get the same amount of game time next year? Who knows? Mahrez, you know, I don't know where this is coming from. The only reason Mahrez is going to leave is because he wants a big contract. Maybe City will offer him. Bernardo, obviously, as we mentioned yesterday, and Laporte obviously hasn't played a lot of football this year. So there is a lot of players that could leave, but whether they actually do, whether they materialise into anything, you know, we'll just have to wait and see. Time will tell on them ones.
Yeah, you can kind of make cases for some of them. Some of them, like Riyad, I can't really make a case for because I feel like we're not really been linked to any right wingers or anything like that. So yeah, he can still really hold down that side.
Yeah.
With him and Torres. So I feel like that's a bit of a difficult one when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Next up then, bro, is Ilkay Gundogan. Barcelona have been quiet about Ilkay Gundogan. However, at the moment, there's no agreement or anything advanced with City. Barcelona are talking with people around Gundogan. That's coming from Fabrizio Romano on his podcast, the Here We Go podcast. This is a weird one because this is another one where Barcelona just seem to be circulating our players. I thought they had no money, man. I thought they were strapped for cash. Why are they circulating our players for? You know what I mean? And they're not just going for one; they're going for all of them.
Yeah.
Like, why are you coming at us like that? And it's weird. It's a really weird situation. I don't see Ilkay leaving, but if Jack Grealish is going to come in, that would probably unsettle him a little bit. He had such a good year this year as well. He smashed it, so I don't want to see him leave. But it's that. You know what I mean? It's when you're bringing in new players like Jack Grealish, or maybe it could be the case of the club want to change it.
Potentially. There's a couple of things for this one. He's 30 years old. He's got 2 years left on his contract. He's in the same position as Mahrez. He probably wants one last big contract before he obviously, you know, starts having to drop down that pay scale. I also think it heavily depends on what happens with Fernandinho. And obviously that's still not yet properly been confirmed what's happening with Dino. Now, if Dino leaves, we're leaving ourselves really light in the CDM position. So we're going to have to buy someone.
Yeah.
Or have Gundogan play in that 6 role, which he did in the year that we were Centurions, and he smashed it. He was absolutely brilliant in that role. So does he accept that with a share of the partnership with Rodri? If we do sign Fernandinho to another year, or we bring someone else in, and there's someone in the list that we'll go through in a second, and Grealish comes in, and maybe Grealish can play in that position, or Foden comes off the wing and then plays in that position, he's then going to struggle for game time, or you might expect he'll struggle for game time, and that's potentially why he might be looking to move. I think City will be quite happy with the fee. I think we could easily sell him for 35, 40 million, given his age. I think City will probably be happy with that. And I think, to be honest, 35, 40 million these days, I think, you know, most clubs can find that. So this could be one to keep our eye on. It's sad because he had a mint year, but there could be something in that.
He's been incredible this year. He's actually been really good this year. So it is one of them sad ones. But do you know what I mean? This transfer could be incredibly weird, and a lot of people have been saying that some of our favourite players will be the ones that leave, which is disgusting to think about.
Yeah, no, exactly. Let's move on to the incomings then, Bray. Someone that we've not spoke about, I don't think we spoke about it for a while, Nuno Mendes. So City have been looking at Nuno Mendes. I guess most clubs in Europe have probably been looking at Mendes, obviously playing for is it Sporting Lisbon. I think he's only played there for like a year. He's only played football for like a season at professional level, but he's somehow worth 50 million euros. That's the times we're living at the moment. This ain't going to happen. Let's be honest, guys. If City are going to spend £100 million on Kane or £100 million on Grealish, this deal is just not going to happen. I think any move for any left back is going to be for someone cheap or someone who is a free transfer. I think next year we'll probably go in for like a big dog left back. It's going to cost 50 million euros. Apparently City have a decent relationship with Sporting. I even said that. I just don't think that's going to happen. And to be fair, coming out of the Athletic, they're also saying that this probably isn't going to happen this year. However, City could look at Nuno Mendes next season, which I think, to be honest, is probably a good idea as well, because only, you know, people might love him, but he's only played professional football for a year. So
well, you're giving him more time to develop, and you can actually see a bit more of him and see if he's the right fit.
Yeah.
So I agree with what you're saying. I don't see this happening this year. Next on the list is Sol. Atletico have offered City the opportunity to sign Sol in a deal in which this one where Bernardo would end up moving to Atletico, going the other way. They value Sol at 70 mil, while Silva requested to leave City before the last summer window, which was the rumours that we spoke about yesterday. So this is one where I think Atletico will try and like get it just in a swap deal so they don't have to spend too much cash on it. This is a weird one really for me, because if we're getting rid of Bernardo, I'd probably like to see Jack Grealish come in and take that spot rather than Sol. I think Sol adds another midfielder, but then this could link to then Ilkay Gundogan leaving.
Yeah,
if
well,
Sol comes in,
the
do you know what
problem
I mean?
is, bro, I've not really seen Sol play, so I can't really offer too many comments. People in our Discord server, in the Extra Club, though, have said that he's not really performed that well for a while, or this year. I can't remember what they said, but basically they weren't too impressed with when they seen the rumours. You'd have to let us know, guys. Would you be happy with Sol? You know what I mean? I don't really know. I can't. You know,
It's a weird one, isn't it?
it would be unfair to me to comment on that, but yeah, let us know. Striker, okay, Romelu Lukaku. I remember when the links first came out about this, and we were both kind of like, not really.
We laughed it off, didn't we?
Yeah.
As if, like, it was nothing. Like, yeah, we shouldn't even bother with it.
You start looking at his goal scoring record. The guy puts the ball in the back of the net a lot. He's a physical presence. He's played in the Prem before. He's played Champions League. You start to think, this deal could actually one that works if we can't get the superstars. So apparently City's interest has cooled on Lukaku, but he's still there as an option. And I think, to be honest, that was always the case. This is again coming from The Athletic. I think this was always the case. I never felt and I never believed that Lukaku was ever our first choice priority.
He was never the #1 target.
But I always believed he's probably on the list, and if we couldn't get Kane, or we couldn't get Haaland, or we couldn't get João Felix, or whoever the targets may be, I always feel that City could look at a move. The problem is, transfer fee, you're probably looking 70-80 million pounds for Lukaku, and it's probably only going to cost you an extra 30-40 to get Kane, you know what I mean, who's, I think a level above him. So that's the problem there with Lukaku. Great player, and I'd be happy to see him at the football club. However, I do think he's probably a couple of pegs below the level of like your Haaland and your Kane.
Yeah, I think the pecking order, he is like, I mean, he's way below them too, innit? So we'll be going balls deep for them before we go for anywhere near Lukaku.
Yeah, definitely.
Hence why, do you know what I mean, the whole situation has cooled down a bit and there's not really much going on about it anymore. Next up then, as an incoming, which is, this one just came out of nowhere, I think. I don't know if there's been many rumours to this. I think people just talk about it. Declan Rice, you know what I mean? He's getting a name for himself and that. I always imagined him to go to Chelsea. I don't know why, just in my head. He's a Chelsea player. But apparently United and City are believed to be considering making an offer for Declan Rice. However, like Chelsea, the two rivals have other targets to pursue and can't afford them all. So, like, obviously, we've got...
Yeah.
They're going to want big cash for him. They're going to want big cash for him in English, and that, do you know what I mean? That inflates the cash straight away.
Yeah.
We want Haaland, which is going to cost us big money. Jack Grealish, another English player, going to cost us big money.
Yeah.
To get him as well, I think it's one of these situations where, just like the Nuno Mendes situation where the £50 million mark on there, I think we would be looking to spend our money elsewhere before we go for someone like Declan Rice.
Not happening, that is it. Someone that could happen though, because the price is a lot less, is Manuel Locatelli. Now these rumours have been going about for quite a while, and then they sort of died off a little bit, and then they've sparked back into life. Locatelli has said, "I'll decide my future after the Euros. I've already spoke to the Sassuolo board. We know what we have to do in July." And I think in the last transfer roundup, we had quotes from the boss of Sassuolo, the CEO, boss man, innit, who basically said, We're gonna let Locatelli do what he wants. Locatelli is gonna leave that football club. So who's he gonna come to? The fee apparently is only 40 to 50 million euros. So you're talking about 45 million pounds. That is a deal that might be able to be done. Declan Rice is gonna cost you 75 million probably. Yeah. Locatelli's a lot cheaper. If Fernandinho leaves, we're gonna have to replace him. Then you look at, is Gundogan gonna be happy sharing that position with Rodri? If he is, buzzing. Locatelli, what happened? If he's not, he's going to go. You're probably going to get 35-40 million for Gundogan. He's going to pay most of the Locatelli fee himself, and I think he's only, 25 or something like that. So this could happen. But it all depends on, again, obviously, on what Fernandinho does. And then if Fernandinho does leave, what Gundogan wants. That's it. But this could happen. This could happen.
I feel like Fernandinho at the moment is a catalyst surrounding quite a few transfers.
We kind of need him to hurry up and decide, not being disrespectful, but I think a lot of our transfer plans kind of involve what happens with Fernandinho. Because if he leaves, then that could impact, maybe if we go for Grealish and Kane. Because if he doesn't, we can literally just go for Grealish and Kane, or whoever it is, and just get them. But if he doesn't, and then we have to buy another centre defensive midfielder if Gundo wants out as well, you add in another transfer, it all becomes a little bit more complex. So we're up for Fernandinho. I'm quite happy for Fernandinho to stay, by the way. I think
100%. I think he's deserved it this year. He looked absolutely mint, showing his quality. Just pray his legs don't go. Next one, Harry Kane. This one is one that I think every single transfer roundup we do, this guy is in it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? With the current rumours, it just has to be in it. Apparently, Tottenham are expecting City to come in for an offer, which obviously, you know what I mean, with everything going on, how can you not expect it? But they think that we won't come in with a big enough bid to tempt them to sell. Tottenham are confident that Kane is too professional to down tools in order to force a move. I mean, you can say that, but if you've had this gentleman's agreement, like you said, about just letting him go after this year, see where they get to this year and stuff, and then they still do that, do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's kind of like, it becomes a bit salty in this situation.
They're playing a game here, Tottenham, and to be fair, it's quite entertaining to watch, you know what I mean? And it's quite an interesting game that they're playing, because Daniel Levy is going to be like, I want £140 million for this football player. And City are going to be like, no, we're going to give you 100, right? And we think 100 is more than reasonable, which, to be honest, I think it is in this current market, and obviously his age and stuff. Tottenham are going to be like, you need a striker. We're not selling for anything less than 140. Otherwise, you can go and get Haaland for 200 million. You know what I mean? So they're in a position where, as you just said, bro, they're basically saying, we're going to hold off. We don't believe that Harry Kane is going to force his way out the football club. So they're basically relying on Harry Kane to stay chill. If Harry Kane turns and says, I want out of this football club right now, otherwise I'm going on strike, and he puts a transfer request in, their position becomes a lot weaker. So Man City signing Harry Kane may rely, I know this is a bit weird, on Harry Kane. But I think Harry Kane needs to do something to get himself out of that football club. At the end of the day, he put himself in this stupid position by signing that stupid contract, that 5-year deal at Tottenham. You know what I mean? That was a stupid contract to sign. So if he wants out, I think he's going to have to put his foot down and force his way out. Otherwise, as you say, Bray, Tottenham could be chill and they'd be like, no, we want 150 million, or you know, he can stay here. And if Harry Kane doesn't force his way out, then he will stay there.
It reminds me very much of when we tried to sign Riyad Mahrez the season before we actually got him.
Yeah.
That relied very much on Riyad Mahrez making a move, didn't it? And he actually did, didn't he? He actually handed in transfer request. Wrote a letter to the Leicester fans on that, didn't he? But then they still didn't let him go.
Yeah.
But it reminds me of that. And City kind of like that. I think we kind of usually put a lot of players in this position where we're like, the onus is on you to kind of make a fuss.
Yeah.
Because we know that it cuts the price down a little bit. And that's what we need to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, no, exactly. Just before we move on, City, apparently now Harry Kane, this is City's main target over Haaland. You know, some people might have thought Haaland was our main target. The only issue is obviously the transfer fee. He is, 27? You know, there are some concerns about his ankles or whatever. Will City pay the 130 million? You know, I don't know. It's a difficult one.
We've never done it before, innit?
We've never done it before, although we tried with Kaká, so it's not like we wouldn't do it. The question here is how high do we go? You know what I mean? And that's the question, and time will tell us the answer. Right, last one on the list for today, and it is Jack Grealish. Now, Grealish obviously is he's currently with the England squad getting ready for the Euros, and I think this all depends on what happens with Bernardo Silva. You know, I think that's quite obvious, but we need players to leave before we can bring players in. There's far too many, in them sort of attacking positions. If he comes in, he's likely to replace Bernardo Silva, is what you'll hear. However, it could be the fact, because Jack Grealish has been playing left wing a lot for Aston Villa.
Yeah, yes.
It could actually be that Phil Foden comes inside, because Phil Foden has been coming inside in the last few games that he's played, coming into the end of the season. And it could be Jack Grealish. So it actually could be Phil Foden replacing Bernardo and Jack Grealish going on to the left wing position. Obviously, Villa come out the other day, didn't they, and say Jack Grealish is not for sale at any price. Obviously, he's for sale. He's not going to stay there. He's way too good for Villa. That's no disrespect to Villa. You know, if you're a Villa fan, you know what I mean? He is, isn't he? He's way too good for you.
Yeah, you're not roasting him by saying that, innit? I think
no, it's when, do you remember Sean Phillips when Sean Phillips left for us to go for Chelsea when we were rubbish? Yeah,
yeah.
We were all gutted,
knew, innit?
But you was like, oh, fair play. You know what I mean?
Fair play is going Chelsea.
Smash it. You know what I mean? So the fee's going to be high. It's going to probably be around £100 million again. That £100 million is just like the general marker. I like Grealish. I've always liked him. I always thought he was a baller, and hopefully the deal gets done, because I think he's different gravy, Bray.
Yeah, I think he's sick. And I didn't used to think he's sick, but I do think he's sick now. I actually really like him, and I think maybe around... That says they might take a fee of about 100 mil. I think we'll probably get it for about 70, 80 mil, I think, after it all goes. But, you know what I mean? That's just me speculating that. I just think that's probably where I think we'd go for.
Yeah.
But, do you know what I mean? This is big cash we're talking about. We're talking about 100 mil on Grealish. We're talking about 130 mil on Kane and stuff. And it's stuff that we've not really seen from this club before. So I can understand the skepticalness of the City fans. Do you know what I mean? I can understand a lot of people say, we've never paid this, we are not going to do it now.
Yeah.
So I can understand that side of it as well. But I want him. So you know what I mean? It's not my cash. Let's go buy him.
Yeah. So guys, let us know in the comment section below. It's been a mega one, this one, obviously, with all the rumours coming out. There's always going to be a bit of a mega transfer roundup. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. Make sure you go download the OneFootball app, guys. You're doing us a massive solid by downloading it. It doesn't cost you a penny, and genuinely it is a mint app. You get all the City news and all the transfer news straight to your phone. Smash a like on it. Check where we are now on the video. Where are we? 8,000 yet? If not, smash a thumbs up on it. Subscribe as well if you're new. And we'll see you in the next one. See you in a bit.